Hi everybody, and welcome back to another Halloween product review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the LED Lightshow projection effect called Thunderbolt. What this is it basically, as it describes it on the box, it is flashing strikes of lightning and booming sounds of thunder. I saw this being displayed at the at-home store during one of my walkthrough videos. If you haven't caught any of those yet, be sure to look at my past videos. I think they've got a really good selection already put out for this year. And I'm excited to see what else they offer. Anyway, back to this. I saw it on my walkthrough. I really liked it. I kicked myself for not actually getting it at the time, so I went back today and I purchased it. Although when I looked at it again for the second time, I became a little leery. I wasn't sure if this is actually going to be effective for me or not, and I thought we would take a look at it together and decide for ourselves if it's something that's going to be useful. One thing I thought was going to be a good aspect of this product is that basically, it simulates a lightning strike and the thunder. And I do a lot of, murder mystery planning, and I thought, this could be an effect that would work not only for Halloween, but, in other instances where you need a spooky atmosphere like a murder mystery party. My actual thought was to project this onto the interior of a window, because it does have the sound effect. So if I'm going to have it during a party or something, you'd want to have it inside so that you get that sound effect. Now, I was a little concerned when I purchased it that it doesn't really explain how it works on the box. The instructions here are a little lengthier than I was hoping, so I'll take a look at those here in a minute. But basically, my big question is, how does the lightning effect work? Does it just keep looping in a lightning and thunder effect, or is it something you can just make happen at a certain time? And just offhand looking at it, it looks like we do have some sort of control knob on the back, but that appears to be volume. I don't see any method of controlling the actual lightning strikes offhand, but I'll review those instructions here in a bit and we'll see if that's actually the case or not. It's just like the other projection effects that I have looked at in the past. I've done a review on the spider projection effect. So pretty much you've got your garden stake. Now this stake I'm seeing has some sort of expansion. There we go. So I'm not sure what that's about. I've actually never seen the garden stake do that before. Oh, and it twists. Oh! I love this, because one of the problems with my projection effect before, when it had only the garden stake, is you couldn't use it inside unless you stuck it in a pot or something. Well, this has a sort of built-in tripod. That is awesome. Might justify the extensive pricing on this, because I was not expecting it to be $34.99. I was thinking something more around $20, $25 would have been appropriate. But this does seem to be, it does seem to have a bit more bells and whistles. There are actually, it looks like, 3, perhaps, different lightning strike effects or effect bulbs. I saw in the store that it would cycle through each, so it'll project on a different portion. Now, the box itself does actually say you can use it on your house, the trees, the garage door, shrubbery, and much more. So I thought we would go ahead and take a look at each of those in turn here in today's video. And again, I'm also going to test it inside. I was wanting to project it on just a single window. I didn't realize, until I went back and looked at it again today, that it had the 3 different lightning bolts. But perhaps if we did want to do it inside, we can always just cover up somehow 2 of the portions and just have one lightning bolt project onto a single window or such. We'll also take a look and see how it looks on a ceiling in case we wanted to do an indoor thunderstorm of sorts. There we go. All right. Just going to turn that volume down. All right. And project it onto this black piece of paper, which isn't going to be too effective either, because it looks like this is meant to be a faraway prop. It says on the box projects up to 20 feet. Clearly, it's going to need to be pretty far back for you to get the effect. So sorry you can't really see that in here, but let's go ahead and take it around and see what it looks like outside and around the house. All right, ironically, we have a real storm brewing. But let's see if we can go ahead and take a look at this before the rain comes. I've gone ahead and set, that by the way, if you can hear it, is real thunder. I've gone ahead and set the projector 20 feet from my front door. Obviously this is not an ideal location. In fact, I would prefer it to be perhaps another 10 or 15 feet back, and I could, hide it somewhere in the bushes, but I'd still be able to hide it somewhere, over there. So we can make it work, but 20 feet is actually not that far out. So let's see what it looks like from the other view. Okay, here it is projected on my house. It is still a little bit light outside. This projector is standing about 20 feet away from the front door. What I'm seeing is that, it is kind of washed out. I'm not sure how well you can see it in the video. You get it flashing on the left, the middle, the right, and it's barely visible. I mean, it's probably more visible to me than it is to you in the video, but the flashing on the right side is virtually non-existent. I guess that's because it's over a window. I've turned off the lights to the living room, but you can't see that flashing there. Here we have the effect projecting on my dining room ceiling. So it is projecting roughly 15 feet away, but the way the lightning bolts cut off at the top make it look a bit unrealistic in an interior environment, though it could be pretty fun, if you were trying to simulate, eating outside in the midst of a storm. Okay, that did not go quite as well as I was hoping for. I know it might have been a little difficult to see in the video, but it was also very difficult to see in person. Part of the problem with this is that you need a very low level of lighting for it to have any sort of effect. I've kind of dimmed the lights in here so you can see it behind me one last time before I'm probably going to return this product if I can. Hopefully the at-home store has a generous return policy, because I just don't like this effect. I think that, again, you need very low lighting, and by the time you get the sort of darkness you need for this to really be effective, trick-or-treaters aren't coming around anymore, or it's dwindling to nil. I mean, if you had a haunted house and this was inside somewhere, that would be the perfect atmosphere for this. But outside, it's very hard to get it working right. I mean, you have to have it kind of set back for it to project onto your house, but the farther you set back, the weaker the projection is, the harder it is for it to see. And you also have to turn on the volume, and when you just have this constant rotation of the lighting effect, that thunder just gets irritating after a few rounds. I suppose you could set it up to some sort of timer where it'll just turn on for a few seconds every once in a while. I wish it had one of those things built in. Even just some sort of randomizer would be awesome. But the way it is, just constantly going, especially if you have the sound on, nobody's going to want to sit and listen to that. I'd also thought that maybe I could project it on a window. Certainly I'm not going to do that from inside, again, because of the sound. But projecting it from the outside is also going to be difficult if you don't have sheer curtains. I don't have hardly any curtains in this house. Most of our windows are just bare windows, or we have some plantation shutters, which renders it useless. If I tried opening the blinds and you see the light projection come in from the outside, it just looks like a strobe light. I mean, you definitely need that sound effect going in order to, comprehend that that's supposed to be thunder and lightning. So it's not going to work for that aspect. So I think my, delusion of being able to use it for, you know, a murder mystery party atmosphere is just, it's not going to happen, which is a little disappointing. But, you know, it did say on the box we could project it on the house. I got okay effect with that. Again, you couldn't see it when you projected on any sort of window, it looked like, but it did a fairly decent job of, you know, a strobe light effect on the house. So with the thunder, you piece it together, you know what's going on. I did try and project it into the trees. Nothing. I mean, my yard is full of trees, and we do actually project some of those green and red laser effects in the treetops, which I think work very well. This, though, I couldn't really see it at all. Maybe it's just too far away. The shrubbery, again, the same thing. Even if you could see it, I mean, it's just going to look weird having your lightning effect in your shrubbery. I don't understand what that's all about. But I did get a good effect on the garage door. So I suppose if you have, you know, some sort of maybe an enclosed porch that you're shining it on, or a garage that has an overhang, or just in some sort of definite dark space with a plain wall, you can get away with this effect. It might work in that situation, but as an overall product, again, I don't like it. Home Goods, don't do me wrong, not Home Goods, I'm sorry, it's At Home. So I hope they are going to take this back, because I don't want this anymore. Anyway, if you want to see some of the other products that I get from the At Home store, and some of them that I purchased last year on clearance, go ahead and give this video a subscribe, and we'll review some of those together. Anyway, that's it for today. Happy haunting.